Being in nature is my cathedral. Church is where you go to give praise, to pray, to feel your spirit, and that happens for me in the outdoors. All my life, in my free time, I could, I'd run 34 marathons. I'd been top 10 and won my age group in mountain races like Pikes Peak. I really knew my body. And suddenly, instead of going for a mountain bike ride, I'm taking my bike for a walk. I just could tell something wasn't working. My name is Richard Owen Kimball, but my mother thought every little boy needed a nickname. And so my initials are ROK, and that became Rocky. Right now we're at my cabin in Crested Butte, Colorado. It's one of the most incredible places in Colorado. It's a community that is really geared towards looking out for each other. Probably the most sustaining source of community has always been by doing things with others in the outdoor experience. People that know me really well, those of us who do hikes together, they're not going to say anything, but I just was running out of steam, like, they'd never seen me run out of steam before. Friends would say, "What's that spot on your arm?" Or I would get a scratch and they would be in shock because it would look like I was going to bleed to death. The real key for me, though, were things like fatigue and breathlessness, even headaches I had. So I knew something was wrong, but I kept going to doctors and they would do lots of testing, but we couldn't really trace what was causing it. It took 2 years really for us to from that point to the diagnosis. We just had been looking in all the wrong places. The doctor said, "You have MDS." You go, "What's MDS?" He goes, "Well, it's myelodysplastic syndrome. It stems from the bone marrow." And so in that instant, things changed. The diagnosis was a shock. That wasn't good news, but I knew the good part was that now I could get on with it. I wanted to try and do whatever I could. I began to look for resources to help. It was Mary Lou that really found the MDS Foundation and began going to their website. She's my primary support system. But beyond that, just individually, we shared everything with our friends. People every day are checking in on me. Look at Robin. Okay, that's great.
Hi, Rocky. It's Robin. Who would have thought that 60 years ago, when you met me, that we would both end up living in the small, beautiful town of Crested Butte and developing a special friendship? It was inspirational for me to see that each day you dedicate yourself to living life to the fullest. And thanks for doing that. I love you, Rocky, and can't wait for our next adventure.
Hey, Rocky. Scott here with a message. As you know, I started my own cancer journey, and I had you to kind of lean on and learn from, which has been that way our whole lives. So anyway, I think one of the most important things that you and I have done is we've continued to keep going on adventures together and supporting one another. I think of that walk we did on Red Mountain Pass, just there up at your place on the loop we did. We must have been a sight to see, you breathing along as hard as you could while we went up in elevation, and me with my feeding tube dangling out of my nose. We didn't get the highest elevation, but it sure lifted my spirit. So, love you, man. Bye.
It was just, Scott's a beautiful guy. That was really, we've done so much together. Robin, when I needed transfusions, would get me there or get me home. With MDS, I haven't been alone. I really have these incredible relationships and partners. Part of my psychological makeup is to be largely self-reliant, but it also, I totally embrace the necessity for help from others, support from others, the love of others. My friends have adapted to my own MDS experience by really just being willing to go for shorter walks and shorter rides, or just on days that I could do neither. Let's meet for a cup of tea, and instead of you coming to town, let me come out and I'll see you on your porch. Your life as you once knew it is interrupted, right? I mean, it's just different, and this is what you're doing for now. Taught myself to read music, play the piano. I've had much more time for my writing, which has always been important, but it's taken on more importance. I have more time to just, to be still. The MDS diagnosis is just the latest, it's a twist that I didn't see coming. It wasn't part of the plan, but it's now part of the terrain that I'm navigating. I'm the same Rocky that I was before MDS, but I feel like I've had to fight for it. When I'm in intimate conversation, when I'm taking a walk in the outdoors, when I'm playing the piano, when I'm really engrossed in poetry or my writing, in those moments I don't have cancer. So the wonderful poet Mary Oliver has a fierce line. She asks us all this question: tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life.